Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, a beautiful day, but honestly I am running on about 2 hours of sleep and way too much iced coffee right now. I have been staring at my screen for hours trying to process what the writers are doing to us this week. My brain is basically mush, but we have to talk about the bold and the beautiful for Monday, July 27th, 2026, because wow, just wow. And let me tell you, the mess is just getting messy, eh? Let's be real, the Forrester and Logan feud has completely taken over our lives at this point. I mean, I am sitting here thinking about how we got to this exact moment in time. Hope defecting to Logan Creations and completely blindsiding her family. Brooke violently disowning Katie and smashing monitors. And Will Spencer literally punching Eric Forrester in the face at the bikini bar. It is a lot. It is just a massive, exhausting amount of drama. But Monday's episode, it takes all that trauma and adds a massive, messy cherry on top. So let's just dive right into it before I lose my train of thought. So let's start with Will Spencer. Oh, Will, what are you doing, buddy? What are you actually doing? We all saw Elektra Forrester rip his heart out and stomp on it last week, and honestly, I don't even blame her for it. She walked into the bikini bar and saw her grandfather bleeding because Will threw a punch in a blind rage. It was a total disaster of epic proportions. Will is absolutely devastated right now. He is drowning in guilt. And unfortunately, he is also drowning in alcohol. He is just sitting there in the dark at his place, feeling sorry for himself and watching his entire life crumble into dust. And who is hovering around him like a moth to a flame? Melissa Dillon. Dillon has been waiting for this exact moment. I swear, the writers have been telegraphing this for weeks and fans on social media have been screaming about it. She has been making these calculated little moves, playing the supportive friend, but we all knew what she really wanted deep down. She wanted Will, and she didn't care how she got him or who she had to step on. So Will is drunk. He is incredibly vulnerable. He is heartbroken over losing the love of his life. He tries to push Dillon away at first. He really does try to resist her advances. But eventually, the alcohol wins, the crushing loneliness wins, and he completely caves to the temptation. And then we get to the morning after, the classic soap opera morning after scene. Will wakes up, the sunlight hits his face, and the realization of what he just did hits him like a runaway freight train. He looks over, and there is Dillon in his bed. And you guys, the look on Will's face is pure, unadulterated panic. He is so regretful. He is just sick to his stomach with regret over this drunken one-night stand. But Dillon is beaming. She is smiling from ear to ear like she just won the lottery. It is honestly a little creepy. It really is. She got what she wanted, but at what cost? What is her actual endgame here? This brings us to Wyatt Spencer. Thank goodness Wyatt is back on our screens. I have missed him so much. I really have. Wyatt is supposed to be focusing on this whole hope for the future diamond situation and helping launch Shauna Fulton's new jewelry line for Bill, but he is a good brother at the end of the day. He takes one look at Will and knows something is deeply, deeply wrong. Wyatt starts asking questions. He starts poking around about Elektra and asking what happened. And Will, who is just bursting with guilt and anxiety, might actually confess everything. I can totally see Will spilling his guts to Wyatt about sleeping with Dillon. And Wyatt is the perfect person to talk to about this kind of mess. Why? Because Wyatt knows all about being torn between two women and making terrible romantic choices. He has a history of messy love triangles. Remember his whole saga with Flo Fulton and Sally Spectra. Oh man, Sally Spectra. That whole storyline was a roller coaster. And actually, that brings up a wild thought that has been floating around the fandom lately. Speaking of Sally Spectra, did you guys catch that weird little Easter egg recently? Over on The Young and the Restless, Sally actually mentions someone named Electra. But there is no character named Electra in Genoa City. So my brain immediately went to crossover territory. Are they planning a crossover event? Is Sally coming back to Los Angeles? Or is Electra heading to Genoa City to get away from this toxic Will and RJ drama? It's a wild theory, but you never know with these writers. They love dropping those little breadcrumbs for us to overanalyze. Okay, sorry, I'm rambling again. Let's pull it back to Will and Wyatt. So Wyatt is going to warn Will. He is going to look his brother in the eye and tell him he is playing a very, very dangerous game. Wyatt knows that sleeping with the rebound girl when you are still desperately in love with your ex never ends well for anyone involved. And let's be real for a second. How is Electra going to react when she finds out? And she will find out. This is a soap opera. Secrets never stay secret in Los Angeles. When Electra finds out that Will slept with Dylan, her supposed friend, the girl who has been hovering around her life, she is going to explode with rage. If Will thought he had a tiny chance of winning Electra back before this, that chance is completely gone now. Dead and buried in the dirt, Wyatt is genuinely worried about his brother's future. He sees Will spiraling out of control and making reckless decisions that are going to haunt him for years. Wyatt is trying to be the voice of reason, but I fear it is way too little, way too late. Will has already pulled the trigger on this mistake, and now he has to live with the explosive consequences. But wait, the drama doesn't stop there. We have to talk about Steffy Forrester Finnegan and Hope Logan Spencer, because Monday's episode is giving us a confrontation that we have literally been waiting for since the fashion show. Steffy is furious. She is absolutely livid about Hope defecting to Logan Creations and stealing Eric's spotlight. Steffy feels deeply betrayed. She feels like Forrester Creations has been personally attacked and she is out for blood. So she marches right up to Hope, ready to unleash hell and demand answers. Now, normally, in the past, when Steffy starts yelling, Hope kind of shrinks into herself. She gets defensive. Maybe she cries a little bit. She tries to over-explain her actions. We've seen it a million times over the years. Steffy bullies and Hope cowers. It is their usual dynamic, but not today. Not on Monday, July 27th. The spoilers say Steffy confronts Hope, but Hope is entirely different now. Hope is standing her ground. She is not backing down an inch. And I am so here for it. You guys, being at Logan has completely changed Hope. Stepping out of the Forrester shadow, getting all that praise on the runway for the Hope by Logan launch, working with Deke Sharp. It gave her a serious backbone. She is confident. She is calm. She is collected. When Steffy starts barking orders and throwing wild accusations in her face, Hope doesn't flinch at all. She just looks at her former boss and holds her own with total confidence. It is so refreshing to watch. Honestly, it's about time Hope found her voice. I really love seeing Hope this confident and sure of herself. She didn't do anything legally wrong. She is just focusing on her own career and her own future, just like any woman her age should do. She wanted creative control, Katie gave it to her, and she took the leap. But Steffy is not going to know how to handle this new version of Hope. She is used to having the upper hand in every single argument. She is used to intimidating Hope into submission. But when Hope just calmly asserts her independence and refuses to be bullied, Steffy is going to lose her mind. I mean, what can Steffy actually do at this point? Hope doesn't work for her anymore. Hope is her own woman now. She is a massive, undeniable success at Logan. Steffy has absolutely zero power over her. And that lack of control is going to drive Steffy absolutely crazy. If Steffy keeps acting like a dictator and screaming at everyone who crosses her, Forrester Creations is not going to have much hope left. pun fully intended. Sometimes I have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. What are the writers doing with this Forrester versus Logan war? It feels so much darker and more intense this time around. Usually, it's just Brooke and Taylor fighting over Ridge for the 100th time. But this is corporate warfare mixed with deep family trauma. This is the next generation tearing each other apart for dominance. Forrester Creations is genuinely struggling with this massive PR nightmare, while Logan is thriving and stealing all the headlines. And how is this feud ever going to be resolved? I just don't see a path to peace right now. Brooke has officially disowned Katie and called her enemy number one. Eric has banished Will from the family. Ridge has declared a violent war on the Spencers and is punching Bill in the face. It feels so permanent and destructive, but then again, I second-guess myself. This is daytime TV. Disinheritances and banishments are rarely permanent in this genre. Give it 6 months, and they will probably all be eating Thanksgiving dinner together at the Forrester mansion like nothing ever happened. Okay, maybe that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. They always find a bizarre way to forgive the unforgivable. But for now, the damage is done and the bleeding hasn't stopped. I just keep thinking about Will waking up next to Dylan. What a mess. What a colossal, entirely avoidable mess. He was hurting, yes. He was drunk and vulnerable. But sleeping with Dylan is just going to make everything 10 times worse for his mental health. He is going to have to look Elektra in the eye eventually and tell her the truth. Or worse, she will find out from someone else. And RJ. Oh my gosh, RJ is going to use this against Will so fast it will make your head spin. RJ is already playing the hero, acting like the perfect, innocent grandson who saved Eric from the big, bad, violent Will. When RJ finds out Will slept with Dylan, he is going to parade that information in front of Elektra to prove that Will is absolute trash and never deserved her in the first place. RJ is manipulative like that, and this gives him all the ammunition he needs to lock Elektra down forever. I honestly feel a little bad for Will. Maybe I'm being too harsh on him today. He lost his job, his girlfriend, his grandfather figure, and his reputation all in the span of a few incredibly stressful days. Anyone would spiral under that kind of crushing pressure. But Dylan taking advantage of that is gross. That is just fundamentally gross behavior. I don't trust her. I haven't trusted her since she first showed up on our screens. And now she has her claws deeply embedded in the Spencer heir. She is playing a long game, and Will is just a pawn on her chessboard. So yeah, Monday is going to be an intense, emotional roller coaster. We have Will's painful walk of shame and crushing regret, Wyatt playing the voice of reason and trying to save his brother from himself, and Hope finally putting Steffy in her place with total confidence. I can't wait to see how this all plays out on screen. The acting is going to be top tier. What do you guys think about all this? Is Will completely ruined beyond repair? Is Hope going to crush Forrester Creations into the ground? Let me know in the comments. I need to go get more coffee before my brain completely shuts down for the day. See you guys next time.